So everybody sees Simba as the hero of the Lion King, but without Nala, he would have never returned. She wasn't just looking for help, her journey was deliberate and her role was far greater than most people realize. This changes everything we thought we knew about the story. So needless to say, Scar was a really terrible king. I mean, he let the hyenas run loose, he dried up the lands, he starved the country. The Pride Lands fell apart, starving more lionesses and making nobody happy, not even the hyenas. So while the other lioness just seemed to accept this fate and make their peace with their horrible lives, Nala didn't. Nala was strong, smart, and highly respected among the lionesses, and that made her a threat to Scar. Yeah, she could have rallied the entire pride against him if she wanted to. Now Scar knew that, and he couldn't have somebody like Nala around. So, what did he do? He either forced her to leave, or Nala saw it best to run away before Scar could do anything worse. In either case, her mission was clear: find help. And so Nala left the Pride Lands, and then like magic bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, she found Simba. But how? The jungle itself is so big and Africa is even bigger, so how did Nala just find Simba in this world? Did she already know where he was? Some fans actually believe that Rafiki knew it all along. We saw in the movie that Rafiki has a vision of Simba. He knows that he's alive. So what if Rafiki shared that knowledge with Nala before she left? Maybe she wasn't even looking for help, but for Simba specifically. So that means that her journey wasn't random, it was actually a mission. Let's take things a little bit further. There's a theory, and kind of an old one at that a prophecy in the Pride Lands states, the Lost Prince will return to defeat the darkness and bring back the circle of life. Now, if such a prophecy really existed, then Nala's quest was no longer only about how to find help. It would mean that Nala was looking for that one lion meant to defeat Scar, Simba. Think about it, Nala wasn't really shocked when she got hold of him. She knew she was searching for him. But there was one slight issue. Simba, didn't want to go back. So we have Nala super exhausted and tired. She's finally reached Simba. She thought she'd found the courageous lion he was supposed to be. Instead, she finds a pretty chill dude singing Hakuna Matata. Not exactly what she'd expected at all. So Nala got angry. She traveled through dangers and hardships just to find this bro who didn't even care about the Pride Lands. So she tried talking some sense into him and bringing him back to the memory of who he was, and for a minute there, it looked almost like she could reach him. But then Simba, dude bolts. It was only when Rafiki again stepped in that Simba ultimately accepted his fate. Which means, if Nala hadn't found him and if Rafiki hadn't shown him the path, then Simba would have never returned. A lot of people forget this, but Nala didn't just bring Simba back and scamper off. She actually fought alongside him. Simba confronting Scar wasn't something that he did alone. Nala led the lionesses into battle too. And while Simba fought Scar, Nala and the others were going against the hyenas and keeping them at bay. So let's face it, without Nala and the other lionesses, Simba wouldn't have gotten really far. They made a valiant stand, held off the hyenas, and assisted Simba in getting back the throne. Nala was more than just a mere messenger, she was a warrior in her own right. Okay, so this is the point where the story gets really interesting. What if Nala didn't actually run away by herself? What if somebody sent her away to let Scar's reign collapse? Scar was a weak king. The animals were starving and the hyenas were restless. Maybe somebody figured that if they waited long enough, Scar's reign would just be finished on its own. That someone could have been Zazu, Rafiki, or maybe even Sarabi. Telling Nala to leave wasn't necessarily an act of mercy. It could have been a strategy, a long game. Scar would fall, but there had to be a leader to take over after he fell, and this is why Nala set off to find Simba. And that's because he wasn't just the rightful king. The Pride Lands needed a leader, and when she returned with them, it was perfectly timed. So let's consider for a moment what's likely one of the most horrendous journeys in one movie, Nala's journey. So the Pride Lands were already falling apart, food was scarce, and every animal was struggling to survive. Therefore, making this journey was extremely risky. There were zero assurances of finding food or water or even another pride that would assist her. And of course, let's not forget about the Outlands. Between Scar's rule and the hyenas running rampant, Nala had to be careful not to be followed or captured. Scar would very likely send the hyenas after her if he noticed her leaving in order to make sure that she would never come back. But even outside of the Pride Lands, dangers didn't stop. The African savanna is filled with deadly predators like leopards, crocodiles, river lions, and even an angry herd of elephants or buffalo, which will attack recklessly whenever they see a lone lioness. And yet, Nala survived. All alone, she made it, finding the one lion who could save the Pride Lands. Now that wasn't just sheer dumb luck, it was determination, intelligence, and courage. Think about it. Simba had Timon and Pumbaa watching his back the entire time he was in the jungle. But Nala, she had nothing. She only had her own strength and instincts to get her through. So the next time somebody tells you that Simba is the bravest lion in the story, just remember, Nala risked it all before Simba even knew anything was happening. She wasn't just looking for help, she was fighting a battle to save her home before that battle even started. Nala really did everything. She found Simba, convinced him to come back, and led the lionesses. But how come she isn't more recognized for it? Simba gets most of the credit for being the hero, but what about Nala? Hardly a mention. Now, maybe that's because recognition wasn't her motive. She wasn't trying to make herself a queen. She wasn't trying to make a name for herself. She did it for the sake of doing the right thing. And to be frank, that makes her even more heroic. Let's imagine an alternate timeline where Nala never really did leave the Pride Lands. Would Scar still have been overthrown? Maybe, but he would have ruled for a much longer period of time. And the next question arises, who would have led the resistance in the absence of Simba? Sarabi was firm, but Scar never considered her a threat the way that he regarded Nala. Nala leaving wasn't just about finding help, it was about marking the way for Scar's dictatorial role to destroy itself. Scar had already lost everything when she arrived with Simba, that's why they were successful. That is why Scar was defeated. Most people just see Nala as Simba's love interest, but from all that we've discussed, it's really easy to see that Nala was a lot more than that. She was a strategist, she was a fighter, she was the reason Simba even came back. And without her, they may have lost the Pride Lands forever. So when you watch The Lion King the next time, remember, Simba's the king, but Nala, she made it all happen. Now here comes the million-dollar question. Do you think Nala had it all planned from the very beginning? And should Nala be praised for saving the Pride Lands? Let us know what you think in the comments section down below. Until next time, Hakuna Matata.